Alrighty, welcome back to the channel, the home of Grenade Veteran. Today I've got some HAVOC 1.0 gameplay. The build still works in HAVOC 2.0, but I figured I may as well just use the gameplay before a talent tree rework or something like that and it becomes forever outdated. Also because my hard drive got corrupted and I had to spend some time restoring that. Otherwise this video would have came out before the HAVOC changes, but I'm just getting through some old footage. Again, the build still works, is still viable. I have played it in HAVOC 2.0 and I'll be giving two options that you can do for the blessings of the LASGUN in this specific build, but I'll talk about that later. Anywho's, let's go straight into the build, starting with the talent tree. Alright, in the talent tree we've got two options, one between confirmed kill, two between out for blood. Now something I noticed, I worded the way the regen works on grenades not so well in some previous videos, so I just want to quickly clarify a couple of things. The veteran has a base toughness replenishment in melee of 5%, a base toughness replenishment on blitz kill of 0%, and range kill 0%. So to show you what I'm talking about, now if I kill these three guys without out for blood while holding my ranged or grenade, I won't get any toughness replenishment. But if I obviously kill them with my melee, I will. Even if I'm holding my melee weapon, it won't affect anything. Just to show you, I'll switch back to my ranged weapon after I throw two grenades. Now just back into the talent tree, I'm not going to take any toughness replenishment, but I will take the shredders just for the purpose of showing you. So while holding my range weapon, I got no toughness replenishment. Now while holding onto grenades, same thing, 47 toughness, no replenishment. Even if I hold my melee weapon, I don't get toughness replenishment. Now the wording I use is that attaches onto your last weapon killed. What I was really trying to say, or meant rather, because my brain and my words don't usually always work together. When a horde comes and there's elites mixed into that horde, even if a grenade kills it, confirmed kill will proc off that, and grenades are very good, especially at high difficulty, killing multiple elites and specials at a time, so you get the multiple ramping of the 20% toughness. Without out for blood, your grenades won't regen your toughness. So I'll take out for blood now, just to show you. So with out for blood and shredders now, now I'm getting the toughness replenishment. On melee, it's the exact same. It doesn't change it or make it 10% like I've said previously. That was just a mistake, flat out mistake. However, if there are elites mixed into that horde wave and you're killing them with grenades, that is still a very easy way to trigger confirmed kill. And the reason I keep swapping to my range weapon, because again, remember as a 0% base toughness replenishment, so it's the best way to test what I'm saying. If there are elites or specials mixed into the horde and you do get kills on them, regardless of weapon type, it will trigger confirmed kill. So going back to what I've said previously, and this was the main point, is that out for blood is the single best node in this entire tree. However, the higher difficulty you go, because of the raw density of elites and specials, you have more than enough access to confirmed kill to keep that toughness replenishment going. And confirmed kill, by nature, in my opinion, has better synergy with Born Leader, because you're maintaining that toughness over 10 seconds. It's like a medipack, but for toughness, you combine that with field improv, yellow toughness, you're setting up a lot more support elements as opposed to the burst healing of out for blood. You also got to remember that I'm typically taking target down, so I get the burst healing from voice of command, target down, and now I get a healing over time through confirmed kill as well as the 10%. That's ultimately why I think it's a better 3 package point. So the main point remains of what I've said previously. I just wanted to show properly and truthfully, correctly, how the base toughness replenishments are working, because This is something I knew before, worded it badly, and it wasn't until I rewatched my videos I was like, I'm not really too happy with this. So here you guys go, that's the truth, and I'm showing it in practice right now. Moving on to the next section, I typically combine a melee weapon that's good at dealing with armor with the LASGUN. Shredders are great for building space, and again, proccing that confirmed kill. Very simply, it's just easily the best frag grenade, or the best grenade in my opinion. New Catch a Breath is absolutely cracked. As long as you haven't blocked or taken damage from a melee hit, this will always be active. So if you're blocking every hit, you'll be fine. But New Catch a Breath is absolutely cracked. Before it got changed, I thought it was even. Catch a Breath used to be really only be useful into a wave of gunners where you're in an actual shootout and there's no melee guys. Whereas get back in the fight in extreme cases where your toughness breaks, it would usually save your life. But just a constant source of toughness replenishment in Catch a Breath, as long as you're dodging, extremely powerful. Now Grenade Tinkerer, we take this for mostly the radius, but you also have to remember enemies are tougher in HAVOC 40 if I'm just taking that as the baseline. What this actually improves is the explosion damage. The reason this is important is because without it you won't hit the important 1 grenade breakpoints with some builds. So just to show you when you're hitting and not hitting the explosion radius. Now this is just one example, but this pretty much holds up for every trash mob. With bruises, the melee armored trash mobs, unless you have some type of damage boost in your build, you won't hit that one-shot breakpoint, so you'll either typically need redirect fire or a damage blessing, like Slaughterer, like Pinning Fire, like Fire Frenzy, etc. That is why the explosion damage is important for Grenade Veteran, so you can hit those 1 and 2 grenade breakpoints when you're hitting the explosion damage. And again, it does not affect the bleed damage, so just to show that now. So with Grenade Tinkerer, 938 and 42. Without, 750, 42. So we're losing about 200 damage on the explosion, but we're retaining the same bleed. But again, it's the explosion damage that's important for those breakpoints that I'm talking about. The 1-2 grenade combos combining with Twin Blast, so you can get that 3rd grenade to get those screen wipes and nukes. You don't have to take Grenade Tinkerer, but I do think it's worth it when you're truly playing into Grenade Veteran. Survivalist, pretty simple, best aura. Combining with Shock Trooper in this build, we rarely need to take ammo, or we don't have to if we're playing extremely efficiently. Where you get the most impact is that you're combining this with a teammate and they're gonna love you, get a lot of benefit. Now this is more of a generalist balanced Grenade Veteran build, and I call it a Grenade Veteran build because I take Grenade Tinkerer in every single build, and I'm playing for grenades as a part of the breakpoints and time to kills that I'm testing. I'm very much incorporating grenades into the final damage numbers for a build. But because I'm taking into Shock Trooper, those 4 points that I would normally use to invest into more quantity of grenades, I just don't have the points for in this build. However, between the extra radius, between Demo Stockpile, Demolition Team, it's more about timing your grenades well, using the almost unlimited ammo of the LASGUN to deal with range units, and then using your melee for the rest of the run. As I mentioned before, we take Shock Trooper. You can go the new Deadshot, especially because we are going a focused target build. Just I don't really like the way it feels and plays. I prefer boosting my weak spot category of damage, because you got to remember there's 3 categories of damage: base, weak spot, and crit damage. And because I'm going to be taking Headhunter in this build to boost my crit chance, it's just a great way to boost all 3 categories as efficiently as possible. I also think it has the best uptime because it doesn't matter if I'm using my melee or hipfire shot, it's just always active. So between uptime and how it practically turns out, I do prefer precision strikes over dead shot. You don't have to go shock trooper, especially with the HAVOC 2 changes being less oppressive on the ammo scarcity, but again, it just allows, especially if you don't have a psyker in your team, everyone's going to be shooting. This is just a way you can help out in that regard to keep resources more stocked for your team. Between headhunter reciprocity, you don't really need any more crit chance in my honest opinion. That's another reason why I don't take deadshot. Born leader, pretty self-explanatory. Between all that toughness regeneration, you will be sharing that to your team. I want you to pay attention to the bot's toughness, and my toughness, I'll maintain 100% toughness. I'll let them get low, and then I'll use out for blood to boost them back up. Alright, with that footage I just showed you, there is a misunderstanding within the community that maybe at some point Born Leader didn't used to replenish toughness when you're at max, but as you saw with that footage, with Out for Blood and grenades, or even with my power sword, every time I swung it, you could visibly see the bot's toughness increasing on the swing, not to mention the constant replenishment from Skirmisher being active because I wasn't getting hit despite the slot system being activated. With all that combined, that's why I think Born Leader is by far the best choice of the three options now. Well, I always did think it was the best, but just to show you. Tactical awareness, voice of command, duty and honor, yellow toughness, shout, we know why it's good. As long as you're within yellow toughness, you can't get dropped or take bleed through damage. And with all the toughness replenishment that you have, getting back into that yellow toughness is very easy and helpful for your team. Iron Will, close order drills, there is some diminishing returns, especially the more points of damage reduction that you get, but at a base you can't go wrong with Iron Will and close quarter drills. But Iron Will in itself is enough if you're just taking into Out for Blood. Demolition Team, Demo Stockpile, as long as you're using them within 10 to 20 plus density of elites and specials or a high density of trash mobs, you'll get value. No other choice but 25 base toughness boost are one of the best nodes you can take. Bring it down with focus target, I find it to be the most value. You can go rending strikes, you will get value from it, especially if you're going the power sword. I would just advise taking an uncanny strike on your melee weapon if you want the most value, especially the knife on this build. But if you're not taking a weapon with uncanny strike, rending strikes will get value in this build, especially for the damage from the bleed and burn stacks if you're going in furnace. But then you also have to remember that Bring It Down also affects bleed damage. So all in all, I think Bring It Down is the best, followed by rending strikes depending on the weapons that you're bringing in your specific loadout. Focus target up to 20% damage, pretty great by itself. It's okay, it's pretty good, but the reason we really take it is for target down with Born Leader, with everything I explained previously, up to 25% toughness and 25% stamina, assuming max stacks, but on average you'll be sharing 10 to 15% stamina on every elite kill. Typically I'm pinging every 4 to 6 seconds. I find a lot of consistency in team strength and maintaining team resources. I don't leave home. I don't take focus target without target down, definitely not. Now make it very simple. For melee weapons, go to my melee weapon tier list, listen to the reasonings. I've got chapters, rather go to the chapter that interests you and try and make it work, experiment. There's a lot of good choices that you can take for the melee weapon. Assuming you're going for the Infernus route, which I do think is the stronger way to play this, I recommend a Flesh Tearer and Uncanny Strike knife so you can get the double dot damage, maintain bleed stacks, but also maintain those burn stacks. It takes the LASGUN from being usually lackluster at boss killing to actually being pretty good when in combination with the rest of the build, being able to apply 16 stacks of bleed and 12 stacks of burn while Uncanny Strike is going, while Bring It Down and Focus Target is going. There's a lot of single damage that the LASGUN is capable of, especially when you need to focus down those purples, getting those burn stacks, dot damage, making sure they die first, so then you can apply the grenades to everything else, because you won't out damage the healing from purple elites in HAVOC 2.0. From what I've read, it's 1200 healing per second. Like, no dot can match that type of healing output, but singling out that elite with Infernus and your knife or dueling sword, power sword, chain axe, whatever you're using, is very important and definitely the way to do it. Onto the range weapon, you can go flak and unarmored or flak and unyielding. Unarmored will get you the better breakpoints against the Dreg shooters and Dreg stalkers. I do think unyielding is the better perk though, especially with the new boss spawns, the weakened boss spawns. So my recommendation will be flak and unyielding with Infernus and Headhunter, but flak unarmored, flak unyielding as a perks are not bad options depending on your difficulty, and Headhunter and Infernus are going to be what I recommend for this build, although you can replace Infernus for efficiency. And in the gameplay that I'm going to be showing, I take efficiency into a pus hardened HAVOC 1.0. It's like the worst situation it can be in, but just to show you, even in a bad situation that wasn't ideal, it's not what it was meant for, you can still perform at the highest DPS numbers. So just imagine if I had went Infernus with Rending in that game. In terms of the Curios, 2 toughness Curios, same perks and everything, stamina regeneration, because the veteran has a stamina regeneration delay of 1 second. It's one of his short fallings. This helps shore it up. Between target down as well, you'll always have a comfortable amount of mana. of stamina, 3 toughness Curios, it plays into the high value numbers veteran is capable of. Combining with Born Leader, the percent modifiers or the percent values from replenishment get affected or are affected by your base values. These Curios and blessings, these blessings and perks play into ramping that base toughness value that you'll get at the end, which will further benefit the replenishment you're getting on kill, resulting in less bleed through damage, but also sharing more to your team. Voice of Command is arguably the best ability in the entire game. Even if we're only shaving 3 seconds off, I find it to be worth it. Now, just by that self, that doesn't seem so impressive. Trust me, there will be times where it's even in my own videos, the few that I have, where those few seconds were the difference between shouting first or getting smacked in the face with a crusher and dying first. Then you also have to take into consideration uptime. If I take block efficiency or gunner resistance, if I'm not blocking, it's not active, and I'm not always going to be in melee, and I'm definitely not always going to be blocking when I'm prioritizing dodges and reciprocity first. Then in terms of gunner resistance, it only works against reapers and gunners, and while I still think both of those are valuable, when I consider the metric of uptime, I may get a melee centered seed where there's not many shooters and gunners and they're easy to take care of, whereas stamina regeneration is almost always proccing because I'm very rarely at 100% stamina. I mean, obviously the toughness is always active. I go into the run with that extra toughness and it's always active on the replenishment side of it, how it plays out. And then combat ability regeneration, I should be shouting more or less on cooldown unless I have it up and I can hear some poxbursters or dogs or mutants coming. I may delay it for a few seconds just to make sure no one gets harmed by a special or elite. But in terms of effective uptime, definitely these 3 perks are going to get you the most value. Going on to the blessings though, 2 toughness, 1 stamina, that's all you need on the Curios. Just before I go, just because I forgot and don't want to leave you hanging, in terms of marks, the IX, the brown one, it just shoots too slow. It feels clunky. I don't know, it doesn't play well with me. I'm not a fan. I find that the Mark 7 reaches good breakpoints, has good mobility, and still fires fast enough to trigger Infernus on the important targets. You can rely on the base damage to kill your human-sized elites, specials, and trash mobs, but against the bosses and ogrins, that's where where you'll get more value from the Infernus. Alternatively, and my favorite, is the 2B. It's the most mobile, snappiest, it's fast, it procs Infernus quickly, so I can then swap back to my melee weapon and get the extra ramp damage either from things like armor rending or base damage, just so I can apply Infernus as quick as possible, so I can go back to my melee weapon to ramp all of that damage, either through blessings that improve all forms of damage like Slaughter, or through rending blessings. Alrighty, now I'm pretty sure that's everything. Hope you enjoy. Catch you in the next video. God bless. 07.